Hello and Shabbat Shalom to you. Hope the beginnings of Shabbat is connecting with you. Maybe some good smells of Friday night. Maybe some smells of challah preparation for joining us at services soon as we head into the very fascinating and very popular Torah portion of Vayishlach here in the book of Bereshit, the book of Genesis, where we continue the conversation about Jacob. Last week we talked about angels in Jacob's life, and this week we talk about his brother, Esau, and the relationship slash non-relationship that they have. And then this crazy moment that we don't know what happens, that the text tells us that Jacob is left alone, and then he wrestles with a man, with an angel, and amidst that wrestling is the very famous line which says in Genesis, "No longer shall you be named Jacob, rather shall Israel be your name, for you have struggled with the divine and with men and have prevailed," is what it says in the text. And so here is the birth of the dual names, that there is Jacob, but also Jacob is also known as Israel. This is not the first time people's names are changed. Sarai became Sarah, Abram became Abraham. And so there is this dialogue that we have about name changes. What's in a name? What's the connection we have with our names? And is it significant that there's this concept that there is the same phraseology that no longer shall you be called Jacob, rather you should be called Israel. That's what it says I just read that to you. And yet, all throughout the remaining of text, actually in perpetuity, he's actually called by both. So it says, "No longer shall your name be Jacob, rather Israel." It's actually not true, because he'll be known as Jacob and as Israel throughout text. Now, Abraham just becomes Abraham. He goes from Abram to Abraham, and that's it. And our text tells us that that was kind of an elevation. His name was changed to elevate him, and he will forever be known as Abraham. In fact, there's some commentary that says you're not even allowed to call him Abram. You have to call him Abraham because his name was changed to Abraham. But here, even though it says that Jacob will only be known as Jacob, he's not. He's known as both throughout text. So what's the question? Like, how is that possible? This is for us to think about. This is for us to think about on Shabbat. I'll give you a clue in that there is a duality in it, because sometimes if we think of Jacob, there are moments that Jacob is Jacob, which is the individual, and sometimes the terminology is Israel, and there he acts almost as the collective, as in we are not known as the people of Jacob, although we are, it's the same person. We are really known as the people of Israel. So sometimes there's that duality where Jacob is Jacob, but Israel acts as the overarching communal connection that we have. And so on this Shabbat, I'd love for us to think about not just names, significance of names, your name, the names that you've named your children, the names of grandchildren, the names of nieces and nephews, all the names. So think about that on the Shabbat, but also think about sometimes are our names used in different ways, right? That's the joke when, if your parent or a grown up, right, uses your full name including your middle name, you're in trouble, right? So what does that mean when we use names in certain ways? Because clearly Abram became Abraham and only Abraham, but Jacob and Israel live within each other. So let's think about that, how we play with that duality on the Shabbat. Look forward to seeing you soon. Services are not that far away, 6:30, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning at 8:30 for our service and Torah study. Shabbat Shalom.